looking at these components of 73% of survivors fall within 6 months of stroke. That's the problem, right? And so the fear part, I'm getting more into the whole them thinking too hard and really thinking in the brain and how that's limiting when they're trying to force movement or they're too scared to move. And being on the floor can really help with that movement. So I found this article and talked about it in the past, but I wanted to bring it up again, is they utilized independent floor to stand technique for people with stroke. And they had 64% success with utilizing this technique. So I want to show components of that. And the big component here, and I'm showing pictures here, and then most of everything else is videos. In this picture right here, and I'll show the video of it, this is the involved leg. And so with a lot of people with some type of extensor tone, or they're too weak and they can't get that hip flexed up enough, we have a really hard time getting them into half kneeling to get them up into the seat. And so what this article taught me, which I just thought was a really cool trick, and some of you would be like, yeah, we did it automatically, but I didn't, is to rotate the body. So leave the foot in the same place, but turn the hips and rotate the body to get the knee to go into the position that it wants or that you need. So that is the big thing that I really liked. I did throw in a couple other articles about floor positions and how therapeutic from an intervention standpoint they are, and how they talked about kneeling training and how outperformed treadmill walking on the Berg in subacute stroke in patients. So just talking about some important components, so important pieces of the movement that is involved in Florida chairs. So supine, and then getting up into a position, then being in kneeling, then being in half kneeling, and being in quadruped. And just, there's just so many other benefits to this. So I just threw in a 2026, this is a brand new 2026 article talking about quadruped training approaches in post-stroke rehab, a scoping review, and then the kneeling training. So that's just for your reference. That's all the articles that I have for you. I did want to show you how we use the environment to really help with movement if they can't do it. So I'll show this, but the big difference of trying to do something just pushing down versus being able to pivot over a ball, we're having really good fun with. So I'm going to show a couple, just going through the whole progression and sprinkle in some interventions. This article has pictures of the progression I just showed you. And this just talks about the whole independent getting up off the floor IGO technique, okay? But what I want to show you is we did a little research. It wasn't really a research project. It was just the chance to get to see some people get more therapy and have the students have a chance to work with them a few years ago. What we did is we did 20 minutes of high intensive stations, like different stations circuit that they rotated with, trying to keep them as active and get their heart rate up as much as possible. And then we did 20 minutes of retraining using this technique for Florida chair. We only did 4 sessions. That's all the time I had with the students. And these are just some edits of some video clips from it, of looking at step 1 of trying to just get that bend in the knees. And then we had some adjustments or going into quadruped. So step 3 is really swinging that, trying to swing that leg around if they're able to, right? Swing the leg around or rotate to get the leg in position. Then if they need to use the chair coming up from there, this person couldn't do the Florida chair hardly at all in the beginning. And after actually he only did 3 sessions, he was able to come up with so much more confidence. It was just so impressive in coming up. So some people could use their upper extremity, although they'd had a stroke. But even without trying to use these different positions, trying to get them and then practice the components of it. So I just wanted you to see some people moving through those movements and how it aligned for the most part with these pictures. But again, the article has the breakdown of that as well for you to see. So let's break this down just a little bit. So how can we make them more confident for going home? Now, some of you right now, if you're thinking, well, I'm not in that setting, they're not going home, I'm in acute care, you still want to have that big picture and think about what kinds of things could I have them do, even if it's a small part. One thing for home is that I bought 2 little knee pads to get external focus cues. I was thinking that might help. in being able to aim, doing externally focused cues so they could aim, but leaning over onto their strong side. Get that involved leg out a little bit. Just teaching them to get down. Go straight from the couch. And I think this is what a lot of us do, but if you can mimic a component of this, if you can just practice the part aspect, if you can use their arm more and have them lean more, use their elbow more, and not worry about how it looks per se, other than let's just get them in this position. Now, being in this position, one of the hardest things that you're going to run into is their hip flexors are going to be too stiff. And if their hip flexors are too stiff and their glutes are weak, that's where they start to collapse forward. In addition, with our patients with stroke, rectus femoris is very stiff. So once you bend the knee, then they're going to flex even more at the hips. So this is a critical muscle we need to stretch, and this position will give it to us. And whether or not you're doing it up on a mat, or you can get them on the floor to do this piece, this can be a really nice position to do for more strengthening. So just doing squats or adding the resistance band in one way or another. I like to use them kneeling in the chair or on the couch with the back behind them. Just trying to find ways they could move around more and get into some of these positions at home. And if you already know me, you know I'm all about the bungees. They're a band. You can make different adjustments, but really trying to get some of those key muscles. And if you're in rehab or outpatient or home care, doing a station like this can accomplish so many different things to really benefit other components. You're not spending a whole session on it. I mean, for that little research project, we did 20 minutes of a whole bunch of different stations and then 20 minutes focused on that floor to chair. But we only needed 4 sessions to get them to become independent. So it's pretty exciting just to be thinking about some different movements. Now, coming from here, leaning over onto the stronger arm. I was just trying to get her to just go into a side sit position. So really, if they can use their affected arm, right, OTs, we want, and PTs, doesn't matter. We're all doing this piece. But when I can incorporate the arm, obviously, I'm going to. But if we can start getting into this side sit, get nice internal rotation of the hips, internal, external rotation, going side to side, just transitioning here can be a huge benefit. Then going from side sitting down into side prop. So they're just learning to come down onto that elbow to then just roll back and go right back onto the back, right? So looking at some options of let's just go through the process. Now, I just wanted to show you, once they're on their back, remember, right side's involved. Okay, so right side's involved, left side is stronger. Rolling towards that stronger side, if I can get up on that stronger elbow into side prop, it's going to be the easiest thing for me. Now, if they can grab something, we can call it cheating if you want, but I'm all good with it. Dig the elbow down, pull with the biceps, and come up on that elbow and already be automatically in side prop. Now, if they can't, I want you to look at the difference here that Maggie did for me of trying to go up onto your elbow. If they could bend this knee, I would, but if they can't, whatever. But look at her abs work. How much trying to tuck the shoulder and tuck the chin. But when you use some kind of ball to squeeze and get lats involved and pivot over, just practicing this in supine early on, because even in acute, trying to get them to be able to do a pressure relief, trying to get them to come up, getting more lat activation. If you're looking at that, you could roll up a pillow. I'm just saying that this is really hard, but adjusting the environment can give them, look at those abs kicking, really can give them support and stability and activation. Teach her to dig that elbow down, tuck the chin, bring that shoulder up to try to get to rotate over top to get them up into a side prop. So just every single transition, no matter how you end up doing it, can be an intervention. You see, where is their limitation? Do I have rotational problems with the hips? Now, this might be too much. So can I put a yoga block underneath her bottom or step under or an RX pad underneath her bottom and just have her come up and from side sitting up back down and up, and really get those rotation in those hips. Once she's here, can I get her arm in weight bearing? So can I get that involved arm in weight bearing, and really get some shifting? So remember, this is her involved side, her right side. So we did the rotation to get her leg up, involved side to push down to get more activation through there, leaning on her good arm and trying to push up with her good leg to get her bottom up there. And then she can just scoot, right? And get into that position. So breaking it down into some of those components, thinking about in just the half kneel position, there's just so many things to love about it. And trying to transition. And once I'm in that side, and then once I'm in this position, can I get them to be able to push over and get activation of glute med? So really she's resisting. We're really getting the glute med on the left side, the involved side. We're getting a nice stretch of the rectus, but most likely they're going to collapse in the beginning. So if I'm stabilizing them, it's going to be at the hips. It's going to be at the pelvis here. Glute max and glute med are really, really a top priority to try to really get the stability that they need while also working on rotation in those hips. Got to have rotation in those hips. So that was looking at that one position change. I just wanted to show one more thing. If you're not there yet and it's making you anxious, that's not helpful, right? So you want to do part components of this. Then if this is the right side is their involved side, I have her knee in front, right, of the mat. So she can put her stronger leg up there. Her right knee is being blocked so she can't buckle. Whatever you're going to put in front to stabilize works for me. Okay. Now here, again, her stronger leg is up. I can come down to a leg that commonly has a problem getting flexed. And so I'll bend her knee, but I'll have my shoulder usually right in her glutes so I can help her up there. And then I can keep here where she tends to collapse. Keep her here, keep her here, keep her here, right? And then I just shift and bring my hips up. And then you can just come back down. And a lot of us do it. You guys probably do the same thing. So just trying to see if I can get you one trick, because I know you guys already have a lot of really good tricks. But feet off the plinth is really nice because then you don't have to worry about the AFO, too much bend and them being set right on their patella. You can do your squats. I can have support right there at the hips to stabilize. My mouse is just acting insane. From here, I can go directly down into quadruped, right? So I can stabilize. Again, have her stable. Come down on have her do weight shifting. Oh, we're going to go into half kneel. We're going to go into half kneel. This piece is what I really want you to see. To allow them to go into half kneel, they need to weight shift. See that weight shift there? They need to weight shift and up. What happens is if I'm blocking them, if I'm blocking her too much, she's not going to be able to. So if I block her like this, and I'm blocking her hip so she doesn't collapse, if I block her, she's not going to be able to shift up. From here, I can just go into quadruped if I so desire, whatever you want to help support. Sometimes I'll use their cushion to keep their wrist neutral and do all your stability, all your proximal, all your serratus punches, all your cat camels, right? Yeah, just trying to keep more neutral wrist, giving them support under their hand, being prepared for that. And just deciding, is this something you want to do for the shoulder, but I can stabilize underneath here. Okay. And then once you get here, I can what's nice about doing it on the mat is I can just side sit them off. The goal is to get them on the floor, obviously, and Claire's going to show you more to do that, but I just wanted to I'll show that last bit just once more. But if you need to feel more confident or you need to figure out what's their biggest limiter, especially when it comes to range of motion, then this could be a nice position to transition through all this 5-7 minutes. That's going to be plenty. And if you can't go full on the shoulder, then no worries. But that side sit and then swing around is a nice, easy way to do that.